we all know we should drink more water, right? It's good for our skin, our energy, our kidneys, the usual stuff. But what if the biggest benefits of staying hydrated aren't just physical, but mental? Okay, let's really get into this, because new research is uncovering this incredible link between a simple glass of water and just how well our brains actually work.
So let's kick things off with a pretty wild number. Research is showing that a staggering 60% of adults are walking around in a state of suboptimal hydration. I mean, think about that. That's most of us, going about our day, potentially affecting how we think and feel, and we probably don't even realize it.
So this obviously raises a huge question. Could something as basic, as overlooked as water, be the key to a sharper, more focused, and more flexible mind? Well, we're going to dive into the science that suggests the answer is a big, resounding yes.
To really understand how this all works, first you've got to meet the CEO of your brain. I'm talking about your executive functions. These are the high-level mental skills that are basically in charge of, well, pretty much everything you do. Just think of them as your brain's own little management team. They're the ones helping you plan your day, focus your attention, remember what you walked into a room for, and juggle all those different tasks we all have to do. They really do run the show. So how do scientists actually figure out how well your brain's CEO is performing?
Well, one way they measure focus is with something called a flanker task. You see those arrows? The goal is simple. Just tell me which way the middle arrow is pointing. The catch? You have to ignore all those other flanker arrows trying to distract you. It's a really clever way to test how well your brain can just tune out the noise.
Okay, next up, they test your self-control using a no-go task. You're told to press a button every time you see one shape, but, and here's the trick, don't press it for another shape. This is all about measuring your brain's ability to slam on the brakes on an impulse. You know, like resisting that urge to check your phone for the 10th time when you're trying to work. And finally, there's mental flexibility. For this, they use a switch task. This one's tough. It forces you to rapidly jump between two different sets of rules. Like 1 second you're sorting by color, and the next, bam, you have to sort by shape. It shows just how efficiently your brain can adapt when the rules of the game suddenly change. All right, so we've got the brain's CEO, but there's another major player in this whole story. And honestly, it might surprise you. It's your gut. Yeah. There is a secret conversation happening inside you right now that has a massive impact on your mind. This whole conversation takes place along something called the gut-brain axis. The best way to think of it is like a superhighway of information, with signals constantly zipping back and forth between your digestive system and your brain. And the traffic on this highway, it's directed by trillions of tiny little passengers. I'm talking about your gut microbiota. Those trillions of bacteria living inside your intestines. And they are not just hanging out. It's more like a bustling chemical factory down there. They're breaking down things our bodies can't, and when they do, they produce these molecules that can travel right up that superhighway straight to your brain. So what fuels this incredible internal factory? Their favorite food is dietary fiber. So when you eat things like fruits, veggies, and whole grains, you're not just feeding you are feeding these crucial microbes. They take that fiber, they ferment it, and they produce these incredibly important compounds, like one called butyrate, which is a real hero in our story today. So we've got the brain's CEO and the gut's chemical factory. Now for the crucial link that ties it all together. Water. How on earth does something as simple as H2O change that whole conversation happening on the gut-brain superhighway? Well, water is basically the master regulator of your gut's entire environment. It helps maintain the healthy mucus layer where all the good bacteria like to live. It influences which types of bacteria flourish. And, maybe most importantly, it helps keep the gut barrier strong. That's the wall that keeps inflammatory stuff from leaking out and causing problems all over your body, including your brain. And now, we get to the payoff. This is where it all comes together. We've connected the dots from water to the gut to the brain. So what did the research actually find? The results are, well, they're subtle, but they are incredibly powerful. So this part is really crucial. The study didn't necessarily find that people with healthier guts got more answers right on those brain tests. Instead, it found that their brains didn't have to work as hard to get to the right answer. It's all about neural efficiency. And what that means for you is less mental strain and more cognitive horsepower left in the tank. The results were just so clear. The data showed that higher levels of butyrate, remember, that's the molecule made in a healthy, well-hydrated gut, were directly linked to more efficient brain signals during those tricky tests for self-control and mental flexibility. Put simply, their brains were working smarter, not harder.
And the researchers themselves put it perfectly. This quote just nails the main takeaway. Water is a cheap, easy, accessible tool that can actually change the game for this critical gut-brain connection. It's a simple way to tune up our own internal systems.
So, after all that, what does this actually mean for us in our day-to-day lives? When you put this entire chain of evidence together, it really points to what might just be the simplest, most accessible brain hack out there.
Let's just walk through the chain of events one more time. It all starts when you drink more water. That simple act helps create a healthier, happier gut. This allows all your good gut bacteria to thrive and produce more of that key molecule, butyrate. And the end result of all of that? A brain that just works more efficiently, especially when you're dealing with complex stuff like self-control and having to adapt on the fly.
It's really an amazing cascade of events, isn't it? And it all starts with just a glass of water. It really leaves you with a fascinating thought. If proper hydration can have such a real, measurable impact on the very efficiency of our thoughts, what other profound connections, what other secrets are our bodies hiding from us, right there in plain sight?